watch. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.
This December marks 20 years that I've been on the air. Kicking off on Cyber Monday and throughout the entire week, we're offering the biggest sales in the history of Infowars.com, celebrating my 20 years on air. And we do it by bringing our listeners the very best high-quality products. Free shipping store-wide on Pro Gun, Made in America t-shirts. High-quality water filtration systems. But not just free shipping. 30% off Super Male Vitality. 20% off all colloidal silver. Buy 4, get 1 free. With your purchase of 1 bottle of DNA Force, you get 2 free bottles of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine, absolutely free, a $60 value. We're also offering 50% off a year membership at PrisonPlanet.tv and upping the number of people that can use each membership to 20. 20 years on air, and InfoWars is celebrating it with the biggest sale we've ever had. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
Genesis is defined as an origin, creation, or the beginning. Genesis Communications Network began with the mission of providing you with the kind of compelling content you're listening to now. And at GCNlive.com, you'll find a free archive of our nation's history, narrated by GCN hosts, explored, shared, and passed down to future generations. GCN is the future of talk radio, but we should always strive to learn from our past. Together, we are GCNlive.com. GCN.
While the unions are big businessmen, and they're going out like a dinosaur. While they used to grow food in Kansas, now they want to grow it on the moon and eat it raw. I can see the day coming when even your home gardener's gonna be against the law.
Alex Jones here, back live. Former Congressman Bob Barr, the head of LibertyGuard.org, is riding shotgun with us for another 10 minutes or so. Then I will get into other news that's breaking at Infowars.com and open the phones up. I'll give out the number coming up in about 10 minutes. You were getting into Oath Keepers when the break cut you off. Tell folks about that.
Thank you once again, Alex. A lot of folks may not have noticed it, but shortly after the start of the most recent round of riots and lawlessness in Ferguson, there were a number of individuals who appeared to help businesses and on rooftops to help maintain order. These were private citizens, law-abiding private citizens, many of them military veterans, former law enforcement, and first responders, who simply have taken an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution. And they went to Ferguson, put themselves at risk, going there on their own to simply help local business and property owners protect their businesses. And rather than the police authorities in Missouri and Ferguson say, we really appreciate this. Thank you for helping us out. We obviously need the help. What did they get for their efforts? The Oath Keepers were told to get out of town or they'd be arrested because they didn't have licenses to do what they were doing. That is simply helping individual citizens and business owners protect their property. This is the state of affairs in America and the Western world today. Citizens who wish to help maintain order and protect their rights and to carry out their God-given responsibility to protect themselves and their fellow citizens. That's not ultimately the job of the police. It's the job and the responsibility of individual citizens are now being told by police, not only do we not want your help, but you're going to be arrested if you continue to help because it's against public safety. We, the police, are responsible for public safety, and anybody who interferes with that by trying to protect themselves and others will be arrested.
Well, that's what's happening here. And again, I've looked at the state laws in Missouri on this. We've had Stuart Rhodes as a constitutional lawyer on and the head of Oath Keepers on the Nightly News to discuss what happened. The business owners asked them and said, yes, please do come. We've had some of the business owners on, the gun shops and others. They wanted the Oath Keepers to be on top of their property. And I think the police are wrong that if in free association someone says, yes, please be here and help protect me, and it's a private citizen doing it, it's not commerce, and so it's not subject to licensure. And I believe that's a fraudulent, unlawful order given by the police.
It clearly is. But it's typical of government, Alex. We see it in so many ways. Government wants to have its cake and eat it, too. On the one hand, the police don't want to be liable for citizens being harmed, so they take the position, which is actually a legitimate one, that that people don't have a right to be protected by the police. But then on the other hand, they want to control people, so they don't want to leave the citizenry with the tools in their hands to actually protect themselves. So they say, well, yes, we don't have a responsibility to protect you, because if we did, then if we didn't, we could be liable for it. But we're going to be the ones that decide when and how to protect you, not you. And that sets the whole notion of individual responsibility and individual God-given rights on its head and places absolute control, which is what government wants, in the hands of government officials.
You're right, and to have the police freak out and come up and say, hey, come down basically with your hands up, you can't be on that rooftop, even after they talked to the business owners and said, no, we want them there. It's that image of citizens with guns that makes the state so upset because they want the monopoly of control. I mean, I'm sure the average cops appreciate Oath Keepers, but at the same time, the bureaucrats, they want that monopoly. Just like in the L.A. riots when the police stood down because they didn't want to be called police brutality or abusers or racist. Then it was the Korean shopkeepers protecting the whole neighborhood with their shotguns. And the media back during the 92 riots asked, should they be arrested? Should they be allowed to not have their businesses burned down? I mean, the ultimate crime in this society now, it's like public schools teach kids, don't fight back if a bully attacks you, get in a fetal position. And they teach people now that have home invasions, don't have a gun, play dead, or urinate on them. I mean, I'm not trying to be gross here. That's what they teach.
I hadn't heard that one before.
I promise. I'm not kidding.
I know it's not funny, but it is so ludicrous. And again, it gets us back to that image that I keep coming back to with how strange things have begun to the old bizarro world. Hopefully, Alex, through your work and the work of other folks who really understand and are willing to put their reputations and jobs on the line in support of the Constitution, we can start to turn this around in the next couple of years. But darned if we've got to have new and stronger leadership in the House and the Senate and we've got to really pay attention and get involved with the primary, the presidential primary coming up. Because if we lose again, I'm not sure where we're going to wind up. I mean, I know I'm going to continue fighting, and I know you will, but we don't have a lot of time left to start turning this thing around.
It's a best of times, worst of times scenario from my view. There's never been more hardcore people of all race, colors, and creeds awake to the basic tenets of liberty and the problems of tyranny. But of the groups not awake across the board, there is just a servile, decadent mindlessness in society with folks that are just do nothing but play on their iPads all day or watch television. And I can't imagine where this nation will be in the future if those types of people continue to dominate society.
It's not a pretty picture that it conjures up. What we need, we've got to have people who understand the situation, who have courage and the backbone to protect what we have and to start turning it around, because it's not going to happen. Liberty is not a self-fulfilling prophecy. We have to work at it constantly.
I agree.
Our founders understood that. Liberty is not guaranteed. We have to fight for it every single day.
LibertyGuard.org. Bob Barr's got to go in just a minute. Let me ask you one final question. In your gut, not a prediction, but just a dead reckoning, do you think anyone will stand up against Obama in Congress? Will they let him do the blanket amnesty? Will they let him try to use executive power against the guns and claim the UN gives him authority? I mean, is there anything Obama can do? We were talking during the break earlier about the race baiting. You said it's so incredibly obvious they don't even care. I mean, when I watch MSNBC, it is Bizarro World. It is so transparent. They are clearly villains, exacerbating a problem, and now they're defending rioting in Time Magazine. I mean, they're now beating people's brains out for no reason with hammers. Racial attacks are women being attacked at Papa John's, and the media is defending it. What is wrong with the establishment?
What is wrong with the establishment is we have had now 2 and 3 generations of the constitutional dumbing down of this country, and this notion that everybody is a victim, particularly if you're a person of color. Everybody's a victim, and government will solve all of the problems for you. It's come home to roost. It's come a cropper. It didn't happen overnight. Just as one would yearn for the days if we had an attorney general who was actually going to Ferguson to assist law enforcement, to denounce lawbreakers, to denounce rioters, and yet we have an attorney general going around to churches talking about what we need to do within government to address these problems of racial profiling. Racial profiling has nothing to do with what's going on in Ferguson, other than from the standpoint of the race baiting by Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and so forth. And yet we have the entire institution of the federal government on the opposite side. This administration is not going to change. The leadership in the Congress does not appear ready, willing, and able to change. But ultimately, I still am optimistic. I think there are enough good people, some of them new people in the House and the Senate on the Republican side, that they will make sure that some things are done. I'm not overly optimistic, but I do believe that that we are going to see enough people stand up so that we will start to turn this thing around.
And there are cases where the police clearly do beat and shoot black people, to death for no reason, and those are real cases. And a lot of times the police get indicted. But there's also cases where they kill white people the same way. It's just this case is one of the worst ones to pick when all the evidence points towards Brown being a thug. I'm sad he's dead. We're going to talk about the case of Eric Garter here in a minute, choked to death up in New York and Staten Island, and it does look like manslaughter to me. But still, different black leaders saying, go out and kill some white people. It's just wild.